everyone, and welcome to my channel. Isabel here, and I'm so happy that today you can share this little time with me. I want to start welcoming aboard to all of my new subscribers. Thank you very much for joining me here on my little crafty space. I really hope that you find everything that I share every week very inspiring, that you love it, and that you enjoy my videos. Okay, then I really hope that you had an amazing Christmas. We sure did here in our home, and we had a lot of fun. We just enjoy being together, and you know, in these difficult times, I think that the best way is just to enjoy the little things and have fun and focus on that we are together and that we are doing great and that we are healthy, and that is the most important thing. So honestly, I really hope that you enjoyed this Christmas and that you're still celebrating, because I mean, we are almost about to finish the year and it's been an amazing year full of blessings and good things. Okay, every year I love making presents for my husband and my daughter, and he loves the Grinch. He is his favorite Christmas character, and this year we went overboard with everything that we could find about the Grinch, and we have this special space here in our house just for the Grinch. So I decided that I wanted to give him something really special, and I created this Rolodex. Yes, this is for my husband, and he's my #1 fan, so he loves everything that I create. And last year I created one of these spinners for my daughter, and it was Harry Potter related, and I was in love with that project because it is super beautiful. Of course, you can create this spinner either using an SVG file that you can find on Etsy, and the name of the store is Nicole's Paper Crafts, or you can also find a die, and I've seen that die on Amazon. Okay, so you need to create all of the base, and if you see, it is very sturdy, and I just love it. Of course, I had to use the Grinch colors and combine it with red, because it is Christmas, right? So all of this is regular white cardstock, and then I use my acrylic paint in red to go all around this, and to protect the paint I use my Mod Podge, and usually I use the matte one because it doesn't get to be sticky, so it gives you a very professional finish, and I just love that. Okay, so I created 11 different cards, and I used different things. I used dies, I used stamps, I used my Cricut machine, of course, and it is a lot of fun. So this is the first card, and this one is created with my Cricut machine, and if you see, it is full of layers. And of course, I wanted to start with this card because remember that the story of the Grinch, everything happens in a snowflake. So that's why I created this snowflake. I have like 3 different shapes of snowflakes, and I just layered them one on top of the other using foam tape in between, because I wanted this to be really chunky. And I used some glitter glue on top just to give something beautiful to the snowflake. And then I created this little circle that you see over here. And this cardstock comes from Hobby Lobby, so it is really good in thickness, and I just loved the color because it is like on point for the Grinch. So this face that you see here, this is a stamp, and I dry embossed it, so that's why it is like kind of shiny, and I just love that. And then the Santa hat is just a sticker. This is a felt sticker that I had on my stash. So let me show you the stamp that I used for this face. This is a Gina Marie Designs stamp set, and this is the one, and it comes with all of these sentiments and images, and I just love this one. So this is the one that I used for this card. Okay, so this is my first card, and if you see, as always, nothing fancy or complicated, just lots of love. and a ton of details. Okay, then for my second card, I used one of the Heidi Swap dies, the round one. And this image that you see over here, this is a box of band-aids that I've been keeping since 2018 when this movie was released. So yeah, I got the band-aids, and of course I kept the box because, you know, I'm always thinking out of the box and keeping everything that I can because eventually I'm gonna use it. So this was the time for that. So I used another die from my stash to open this window so I could sandwich the image in between this green layer and the white one in the back. And then I used my black gel pen to go all around with this stitched frame. And this is another sentiment from the stamp. This one over here. Okay, so I had to cut my stamped image so I could back it with this red cardstock and then put it like this. I had to stamp the sentiment twice so I could use 2 parts in black and green in green. Okay, so I just love it because it is perfect for this face, and it says it's because I'm green, isn't it? And so it is so beautiful. Okay, then for my third card, look at this. This is super adorable, and this is another die that I had on my stash, and I paper pieced the hand. So I have 3 layers over here, one in green, one in red, and then this border is in white. And then I also paper pieced the ornament, and then on top I added some glossy accents, and I'm using one of the sentiments from the stamp set. And I think this is very simple yet really beautiful, and I really hope that you can see that the hand has a lot of dimension, and it's because of all the layers of cardstock that I used. So this is super cute. And of course, what I did for this gold border is that I die cut one card, and then I went inside of it with my X-Acto knife just to create the frame. That's why it is not perfect, but I love it. Okay, and then this is my fourth card. And remember that the Grinch has the heart 2 sizes smaller than a regular heart. So this one is created with my Cricut machine, and again I'm using foam tape in between layers, and I just went all around each layer with my black gel pen. And I think this card is really simple, but I love it. Okay, so if you know the story, I try to go in order so it is fun. Then for this one, it's a little bit different, but I'm still keeping the Grinch's colors. And for the base, I used another die from my stash. And if you see, this one has foam tape again in between layers. And I used my Posca markers to create these Christmas lights all around. And then for this beautiful tree that is in 4 layers, I used a Mary Ann Designs die, this one over here. So I used all of the layers, but not the trunk. Okay, just the tree branches. So what I did is that I used 2 different cardstocks, red and green, and then I went on top with my Posca markers to create the ornaments and also the lights. This is another stamp set, and this one is from Cracker Box Stamps. So this is the one that I used. These are rubber stamps, and look at this image. Super, super adorable. Okay. Then for my next card, I created this shape of the Grinch head. And this is an SVG file, and it says, I'm a Grinch before my coffee. My husband loves coffee. So this was perfect for him. And all I did was, of course, I had to use my Cricut machine to cut this one. And I just added these ornaments over here with my Posca markers. And then I had this plastic button on my stash, and since this is talking about coffee, I decided to add this over here, and I think it looks super, super funny and adorable. I love this card. Okay, And of course I used some acrylic paint over here, and if you want to get the shade, because this is perfect for this project, let me show you the paint that I used. This is the paint that I'm using for this project, and this one also comes from Hobby Lobby. This is the first time that I use this craft paint, but it is super beautiful. I love it. The thickness and the color, and I mean, look at this. I have nothing else to say. Super nice, okay? Then for my next card, I used again the Heidi swap die for the back. And since we are talking about Christmas and winter and snowflakes, I found this piece of paper full of snowflakes in my stash, so I used it. And then if you see, I really hope that you can see that I added some glitter glue on top of each of the snowflakes, and then I added this beautiful rosette over here. This is an SVG file too. And then I added this other Grinch head that says Stink, Stank, Stunk. And if you see, it is shiny because I added some glossy accents on top. And this is a beautiful, beautiful card. I love it, okay? Then for my next card, I created this beautiful slate. And I found this image on the Cricut Design space. And remember that the Grinch is still in Christmas, so he has a sleigh. And of course I added here the presents, and this is part of the stamp set. This one over here, and this is the one that I used. So I used my alcohol markers to color all of the presents, and then I used my Posca marker to go all around here and create these embellishments. But this is super cute, right? Okay, then for my next card, I used watercolor paper because I dry embossed not only the quote over here, but also the image. And this one is, this is the quote and this is the image. And then I used my watercolors to color not only the Grinch but also the background, and I think it looks super, super adorable. I love his face. He's so innocent in here. Okay, and then for my next card, again, I am using for this one the Heidi swap die. Okay, and so for this one, what I did is that I used white cardstock for the back, and I hope that you can see that for this layer, I used the same green like this. And yes, this is a fairy card, and that is because I used some yarn, so I had to brush my yarn in order to create this texture. And then I used regular white glue. I used my tacky glue, and I had to be gluing piece by piece all the yarn because the Grinch is all furry, right? So the face is an SVG file, and I cut it with my Cricut machine. So in order for it to really stand out on top of all the hair, I had to create 3 layers. So I hope that you can see that this is really thick, and that's why. Okay, and look at this hair over here. This is so much fun, a lot of work, I tell you, but it is so worth it. My husband loved this present. Okay, and for my last card, I created a cup, and this is inspired in a cup that we find over at Hobby Lobby. Super cute. So I used, let me tell you, I used the SVG file from the face, and also I used this SVG file, but I didn't use the letters, just the shape of the head. And so I added this handle over here, and for this, of course, I had to use my Cricut machine, and I have an extra layer over here to give some dimension to the mouth. And this is my cup. If you see, I also used some paint because it was like a really white, the borders, and I wanted to fix that. But this is a beautiful Grinch cup, and if you see, this spinner totally works, and it is super beautiful, and I love it. So ladies, this is my share for today. I really hope that you enjoy looking at all these cards. It was a lot of time invested in this project, but as I said, it was so much fun. I love creating these little cards, and when you give a present like this, just looking at the face of the receiver that is very happy and thrilled of everything that he's seen, it is so worth it. So if you like this video, please remember to give me a thumbs up. Also, if you want to share with your friends, I will appreciate that very much. But in the meantime, please take care of yourselves. Remember to always have a huge smile, and I promise that I will be seeing you very soon. Bye.